What's going on, people in internet land? Kimchi Chris here, and welcome to today's brand new episode of Rock Bliss with Kimchi Chris, where we are going to take a look at something that has been morphing, has been changing, has been evolving and turning into something huge over the past 6 months. Actually, I'm not really sure much has changed, but we are going to take a look at the current shenanigans of Vince Neil. So you might remember, if you are a follower of the channel, and if you're not, you can hit that subscribe button and change that right now. I released an episode almost 6 months ago, back in June, when a lot of these current problems with Vince Neil really surfaced at a show around that time. He just told the audience he was done. He walked off stage, the band finished up, and then we started to get worried about Vince, or more correctly, I started to get worried. I looked at the idea of some mental health issues, some food dependency issues, depression, things like that. I took a very different approach at that, and that seemed to resonate with a lot of you. So here we are, almost half a year later. What's been going on with Vince? Because he's been out there, he's been doing stuff. Have things improved in any way, shape, or form? Well, if you don't want to watch the rest of the episode, the quick answer is no. But if you're curious what's been going on, maybe you haven't been following as closely as people like me have, since the last episode where he did leave stage mid-song. I don't know, it was near the end of the set, but he did leave the stage and apologize to the audience. He canceled a whole slew of shows after that because he knew things were going south, it seemed like. He knew things were not looking good in the world of Vince Neil, but oh boy, he re-emerged and nothing changed. It was the exact same. He was out of shape, he was winded, he couldn't sing his band saves the day, and it was the Vince Neil experience we have come to know and love. And what's really bad for the guy now is, after his most recent episode at that time, people have the phones up at every show now. They're going to film every song they can, every move they can, every off-key note they can, because they know that something's going to happen, and even though it's going to be similar to the time before, maybe this time it'll just be a little bit more cringe, so they can get some views on their YouTube channel and bring some people in at the expense of this guy's bad performance. I mean, it's not like I would ever try to benefit or bring some views in off of this guy's disastrous on-stage performances or anything. But in a weird way, this is probably bringing more people to the shows. People want to see the meme in person. What will happen on stage? So he performed a couple shows, everything was well and good, and then disaster struck in October. It was mid-October to be exact, and he was playing a kind of has-been hair metal type festival not too far from me in Tennessee, and he fell on stage and broke his ribs, which was pretty awful. Pretty awful. Now, a lot of people quickly came to the conclusion that it was because he was drunk on stage or couldn't move well or things like that, but luckily every band kind of came to his defense that was on that show and said the stage was set up really poorly, and with him being in the headlining spot, it was a lot darker out, of course. The lights weren't doing well and he couldn't really see where the stage ended, and he fell off. He fell off and he broke his ribs. Luckily, he was playing a guitar. From what we hear, that broke his fall quite a bit, and luckily, despite him breaking ribs, which is never a good thing, it wasn't a completely disastrous thing. He didn't die on the spot. He wasn't rendered immobile or anything like that, but it was something for the people that are a little bit more heartless online to meme over and make some cheap jokes about, but nonetheless, it's Vince Neil. He's going to persevere, and of course his band persevered. If you look it up online, they finished out the show with the other guys singing, and more shows were canceled. What a surprise. It's quite a nerve-wracking experience to try to see Vince Neil, because you never know what's going to happen. He's not as crazy as Vinnie Vincent, but you never know what will happen for other reasons. So then, after breaking ribs, not being able to sing, being memed again, he had a show scheduled in Las Vegas. There's tons of videos up for it on YouTube. It looked like he was on the main strip with the big video screens above and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, the big question for everyone, was this going to be his redemption arc? Well, you probably already know the answer to that. No, it wasn't his redemption arc at all. He maybe looked a little bit better. I think he looks just a tad slimmer in these videos, but he sounds the same. The band is the same. He looks the same other than being a tad slimmer, and it's overall a bad experience. But you can see in these videos in particular, there's more cameras and more phones up than ever before. People are really trying to catch this guy at his best, or probably his worst, more than likely his worst. But it really does make you wonder, how does it sound while you're there? How is the mix there? In these videos, and nothing ever really sounds that great. And I'm not saying that he sounds amazing in person, because I'm sure he doesn't, but it makes you wonder, how is it mixed in person? Do they just try to drown him out in the mix? Can you only hear the guitars, bass, and drums? How is it done? I'm very curious. If Vince played a show here, a solo show, would I go check it out? You know, depending on the price and what other acts were on it, I probably would. I have seen him solo before. This was years back. I think it was right around the end of the first Motley Crue farewell tour, or maybe right after it, and he was pretty bad. A lot of people were leaving. It was part of this like kind of failed hair metal festival thing they tried to do one year here in Nashville. There were a lot of bands on there of his ilk. Tom Kiefer headlined the other night of it, and you had people like Vixen and Nelson and Slaughter, you know, artists like that. It was a good time. He was the headliner on the second night, and that place was clearing out pretty quick when he was playing. I somehow stuck out the whole set. Luckily it wasn't too long, but with that being said, this is where we are in the current Vince Neil saga. And I still hold true to my original thoughts that I think there's something going on with this guy. I think it could be mental issues, depression issues, definitely, again, food dependency issues. This is a thing, I guarantee it, as well as alcoholism. I don't know that the guy's drinking a lot, but he's always said that he enjoys a drink, and oh boy does it show. I hope he's not doing drugs as well, but I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is. I don't think it's a financial thing, at least I hope not. I mean, that's like the least important out of these things, because all of these other things really affect his life and his overall aura, but it can't be a money thing, can it? Can it? Motley Crue makes a lot of money. We saw those headlines recently about them making $6 bajillion million trillion for selling their catalog, so it can't be a money thing. So it baffles my mind as to why this guy is continuing to be a living meme, unless he enjoys that aspect of it. Maybe he's very aware. Maybe he knows that he is going on stage looking like a slob, pouring some natty lights in him before he goes on, not singing in key or in time or anything else, and he's like, yeah, I'm getting paid tons of money to do this, and it's awesome. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe he doesn't care what other people think about him, because I guarantee the people that are near him in his circle, they tell him he's doing awesome, and when he meets fans at the shows, I guarantee they tell him he's doing awesome, and I guarantee even his crew, everyone just in his life, they have to be telling him he's doing awesome. I'm sure he knows about how the internet feels about him, but it's the internet. Okay? He knows it's trolls. He knows it's the equivalent of 4chan type people. He doesn't seem to care, and I think that's probably where he is. Now, I think there are some issues still. I really do think there are some issues, but as far as him caring about improving, he probably doesn't care too much because he's getting paid so much, but this does make it seem like it's going to get very interesting next year. Will he be the same when he's on the stadium tour? Will they fix the vocals with lip syncing or vocal enhancements, as they call it, aka using pedals and such on a voice? They can do auto-tune live. Will they do it? Will it even matter? Will it even matter? These tickets have already been sold for 2 years now. I know some people took refunds and such, but as we creep back into normality, hopefully next summer, it's still going to be a hot ticket to see Motley Crue, Def Leppard, Joan Jett, and Poison. So will it matter? Will it matter at the end of the day? If you put Motley Crue on last, if people don't like them, they can just leave because they've already seen 3 other bands they enjoyed. So with all that being said, what do you guys think about this situation? Do you think Vince is going to improve at any point, or do you think he just doesn't care because he's getting paid to put on, well, a pretty shoddy show at this point? Let me know all of that and more in the comments below. And if you are new around here, subscribe, hit that thumbs up, all the things that every YouTuber ever has told you to do. Once again, my name is Kimchi Chris. This has been Rock Bliss with Kimchi Chris, and we'll see you guys on the next episode.